Viewer discretion is advised. Also, headphones are highly recommended to watch this series.
No! As soon as I reached the hallway, I fell to my knees with a thud. No! 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 What was that? A person? It was a pitch black, but I swear it was shaped like a person!
パニックになる私の目の前で開け放たれた保健室の入り口から黒い影がゆっくりと出てきた。
The school infirmary door hung open near me, and in my panic state, I swore I'd seen a black, shadowy figure within it.
殺してやる。パニックになる頭の中を整理する。何だったの今の。
My mind had been completely overtaken with fear. What was that?
何が起こってたの今。黒い霧みたいなものが私の全身から口から耳から体の中に入ってきていた。
What just happened? That dark, misty entity came toward me and entered my body from every orifice. It came in through my ears, through my mouth.
喉の奥に太いものが詰まってて息ができずに一瞬意識も飛んだ気がする。
I felt an enormous lump in my throat, blocking the flow of air into my lungs momentarily, teetering me on the brink of unconsciousness.
私は今殺されかけたんだ。
I was almost killed.
胸の奥に大事にしまっている命をまるで冷たい手にわしづかみにされたようで、私の体はすべての器官がひっくり返ったように乱れていた。
It felt as if a cold hand reached into my body and grabbed hold of my life's energy, turning my internal organs inside out and leaving me for dead.
胃がおかしい、腸がおかしい、足がもつれる。人間はプレッシャーだけでこんなにも体が狂うのか。
My stomach was churning, my bowels were on fire, and my legs were all twisted around themselves. Can pressure alone disrupt the human body this much?
喉に残る自分の胃液の味と匂いに私は再び吐きそうになるのを必死でこらえていた。
The odor and flavor of my own gastric juices still gnawing at the back of my throat. I felt like I was going to throw up again, but I held it in.
見覚えがある。
I remember this.
この場面、この状況。
This place, these circumstances.
私絶対覚えがある。ここに来たの初めてじゃない。
I've been here before. I know I have.
幸せの幸子さんを行った私たちはすごい音がして教室の真ん中に穴が開いたと思ったら気がつくと古びた廃校舎の中にいた。
After performing the Sachiko ever after ritual, there was a hellish noise, then a huge hole appeared in the floor, and then I was here, in this school.
サトシやシシド先生、 委員長たちの姿はなく、私のそばには聖子だけが倒れていたの。
There was no sign of Satoshi, or Miss Shishido, or the class rep, or anyone else. Only Seiko was still near me, collapsed in a heap on the floor.
聖子と私は二人で励まし合って校舎の探索をしていたんだけど、玄関も窓も全部閉まっていて、外へ出ることができない。
Seiko and I explored the decaying building as best as we could, but there was no way out. Not a single window or outer door could be moved or even broken.
そんな中、サトシの妹、ゆかちゃんの声が廊下の奥から聞こえたの。
Just as our last shreds of hope had begun to vanish, we suddenly heard Satoshi's little sister, Yuka, crying out from somewhere just out of sight.
足をくじいて動きづらい私を保健室のベッドに休ませたまま、聖子は一人でゆかちゃんを探しに行ってしまった。
I'd sprained my ankle pretty badly and couldn't walk very well, so Seiko went off alone to find her while I rested up in the infirmary.
そこへ一人になった私を狙いすましたかのように、真っ黒い人影のようなものが現れて襲いかかってきたんだ。
And that's when the dark shadowy figures show up and began attacking.
怖かった。怖かった。怖かった。怖かった。怖かった。
I was scared. So scared. So scared. So scared. So very scared.
歯が勝手にカチカチとなる。唇が別の生き物のようにブルブルと動く。
My teeth were chattering and my lips were quivering, as if they had a mind of their own.
どうして私を一人にするの？
Why would she leave me alone like that?
私も一緒にゆかちゃん探しに行くって言ったのに、どうして一人で行っちゃうの？聖子、足手まといってこと？
I told her I'd go with her to look for Yuka. So why? Why did she leave me behind? Was I going to slow her down? Was I going to get in her way?
Naomi! どうしたの？大丈夫？
Naomi! What happened? Are you okay?
聖子、そんなことが。一人にしてごめんね。大丈夫だった。
What? Oh my god! Are you alright? I'm so sorry I left you by yourself!
聖子の顔を見たら、体の震えが止まった。
Just seeing Seiko's face quelled my shivers.
この子がいると本当に安心する。しがみついて泣きじゃくりたい気持ちになる。
Whenever she's around, I feel so at ease. And at that moment, I just wanted to cling on to her and cry my eyes out.
素直にそうすればよかった。
I should have just done it. But instead...
私のこと置いてって怖かったんだから。
Just leave me alone. Do you have any idea how scared I was?
ごめんね、ナオミ。一緒に出口探そう。
I'm sorry, Naomi. Come on. Let's just try to find a way out of here together.
知らないよ。やだ、もうほっといてよ。どうせ脱出なんてできないんだ。
I think I see an error, so I'm gonna correct that error.
What's the point? Just to forget about it. Leave me alone. We're never getting out of here.
安心感からか、私の胸の奥からはまるで拗ねた子供のように、大粒の涙とともに怒りの感情が溢れ出してきた。
Maybe it was the safety of Seiko's presence that did it, but all the fear welling up within me suddenly turned into anger. I was like a spoiled child.
この子に当たっても仕方がない。この子は何にも悪くない。分かっているのに、私は言葉を止めることができなかった。
Nothing good could come out of lashing out like this. Seiko didn't do anything wrong. I knew that, but I couldn't stop myself from saying what I said.
心底心配してくれているのに、守ってあげると決めたのに、聖子の顔を見て、私の甘え性にますます火がついていく。
She was genuinely concerned about me, and I'd sworn to myself that I'd protect her, but my sense of reason was fighting in a losing battle.
このまま行方不明で、お母さんにも迷惑かける。ほんと最悪。
You realize we've gone missing, right? How do you think my mother's going to feel? She's going to be worried sick about me. There's nothing she can do. Or I can do. Because I meant to say I.
ナオミ、大丈夫だよ。そんなこと言わないで。
Naomi, please don't say things like that. It's going to be alright.
だってそうじゃん。私が帰ってくるまできっとずっと探し続ける。
Like hell it is. She's going to keep searching for me until the day I finally come home.
お母さん仕事あるのに足引っ張って邪魔して。
And she
超
has
親不幸だよ。
and she has work, you know. This whole situation, it's not right. As long as I'm here, I'm nothing but a nuisance to her. I'm a terrible daughter.
ここで死ぬ私が見つかるわけがないのに無駄なことさせて。
And we're just going to die here anyway. So all that time she spends looking for me will be wasted.
この時、聖子と話しながら私はさらに別の考えに心を支配され始めていた。
By this time, my mind had been completely overtaken. I wasn't myself anymore. I was running on autopilot, horrified by the words coming from my mouth.
この流れはダメ。
No, I know how this ends.
無駄じゃない。
You're wrong!
家族ってね、迷惑とか足引っ張るとかそういうものじゃないよ。
Families aren't like that. It won't be a nuisance. It won't be a burden. And you're not terrible.
うまく言えないけど、その人のためなら何だってできるものだと思うの。
I don't know how to exactly say this, but when there are loved ones involved, you'll do anything for them.
さっきの既視感が戻ってきて、どんどん確信に変わっていく。
There it was again. Deja vu. Everything was falling into place.
そう、私はこの先の運命を知っていた。このまま進んじゃうと。
I knew what was going to happen. I knew what fate had in store if we continued down this road.
だけどそうだよね。心配はかけるべきじゃない。夏美お母さん優しい人だし。
But I guess I can see where you're coming from. Your mother is a really kind person. The last thing you'd want to do is worry her.
だからそうならないように。ねえ、ナオミ、大丈夫だよ。絶対に帰ろう。
That's why we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Right, Naomi? We need to get back home.
あんたの家はどうだか知らないけど、うちはそんなおめでたい考え方できないよ。
Oh, I remember that hurtful line.
I don't know how it is with you and your family, but normal people aren't that way.
このままだと。
No. It's happening.
聖子が首をつって死んじゃう。
Seiko's going to get hanged. She's going to die. I have to apologize! No! I don't want you, of all people, to speak to me like that! Please, Naomi! Tell me that's not how you really feel!
Seiko!
Seiko... Come on! Come on! Apologize!
このままじゃいけない。聖子をここで一人にしちゃいけない。
Frickin' tough it out this time. Don't fricking make the darkening, make you say those hurtful things. If I didn't say something to calm her down, Seiko would run off, and I knew she couldn't be by herself right now.
私はとっさに謝ろうとした。でも
So I pulled myself together and tried apologizing to her. But the words... Oh, come on! Come on!
聖子、
Seiko, I'm so...
謝ろうとした途端、喉に何かが絡まって息ができないほどむせ込んだ私はその場にしゃがみ込んでしまった。
The words wouldn't come out. As soon as I tried to form them, something caught itself in my throat. I found myself unable to breathe and doubled over in a fit.
ナオミ、大丈夫？
Naomi, are you okay? Oops.
ごめんね。私があなたの気持ちを逆なでしちゃってるのなら嬉しいけど、私離れてるから。
I'm sorry, Naomi. If I'm bothering you, I'll go. I hate to leave your side, but if that's what you want, I won't argue.
聖子、
Seiko.
待ってよ。
Wait!
走っていく聖子の後ろ姿が小さく暗く消えていく。取り返しのつかない選択をした気がした。
Seiko ran off into the distance, her figure growing smaller and darker until it vanished altogether. I knew I'd made an awful, irreversible mistake.
聖子に向けた私の意識をある違和感が強制的に引き戻す。
That sense of dread I'd felt moments before had come back full force. I could sense a malevolence within me, an outside hand that made me lash out at Seiko.
口の中に異物感。何か入ってる。私は慌てて口の中に指を突っ込んだ。
It felt like something was in my mouth. I had no idea what, but there was definitely something in there. I stuck my finger in and tried to dig it out.
ズルズルズル。
Oh, God.
私の喉の奥から絡まった長い髪の毛がたくさん出てきた。
Oh, God. My finger found something and pulled, and out from my throat came large clumps of long black hair.
真っ黒な髪の毛は引っ張っても引っ張っても出てきた。
I just kept pulling and pulling. I couldn't believe how much there was.
胃の中から食道を通って私の手のひらまで途切れなく。
The strand stretched all the way from my stomach, through my esophagus, and into my hands. And even then, there was still more to pull out.
扁桃腺が刺激されてまた戻してしまいそうになる。
The motion was unnatural and was creating a repulsive, sickening sensation along my tonsils. I felt like I was going to throw up again. Where the hell did all this hair come from? Was this all stuck in my throat?
おぼろげだった未来の記憶は確信に変わっていた。何か理由があって私は同じ現実を繰り返しているんだ。
It was only a faint notion before, but now I was certain. I was remembering some future event. I didn't know why or how, but I was repeating time.
謝ることも許さないってこと。
Am I just not allowed to apologize?
何かの力が働いてる。何かがまたこの世界でも聖子を殺そうとしている。
I could feel the dark will guiding me. Someone or something wanted Seiko to be killed in this timeline as well.
ダメだよ。そんなことさせない。
But I wasn't going to let it happen.
絶対させないから。
Not without a fight.
とにかく追いかけなきゃ。謝ろう。あの子を一人にしちゃダメ。
I have to go after her. I have to apologize. I can't leave her alone like this.
私は聖子の走っていった方へ廊下を駆け出した。でも
I ran as quickly as I could in the direction Seiko had gone. But then... A fierce earthquake began shaking the building. It was so violent I couldn't even stay standing. I crouched along the ground, waiting for it to pass. Everything was moving, and there were sounds of objects cracking and breaking all around me. Glass was shattering. Ceiling tiles were raining down upon me. I was scared for my life. So scared. So very, very afraid.
I don't even know if you all can hear her speak, because that sound effect is very loud. Or if you heard me say that. I'll say it again. I don't know if you hear her speak, so yeah, with that.
I was certain I was going to die. Maybe a big chunk of ceiling would fall on me. Or the floor would open up at my feet and swallow me whole.
I'm probably just gonna read what she says, since you can't even hear her, probably.
I kept wondering how it was going to end. Was I going to be crushed? How badly would it hurt? How long would it go on before I finally died? My head was swimming with all kinds of worst-case scenarios, while my body just remained motionless on the ground. I'd never felt so helpless before. I didn't even care anymore. I'd take any release I could get. Just make it stop! But there was no release for me. All I could do was curl up into a ball and pray.
That was very loud. And that was the longest earthquake I've ever seen in a game.
どれくらい経っただろうか。
I wondered how much time had passed.
一瞬にも数分にも数時間にも思えるほどの恐ろしい時間が過ぎて、校舎はようやく静寂を取り戻した。
It could have been only a moment, a few minutes, or even a few hours. For all I knew, it finally did end, and the dark corridors were silent once more.
体中をこわばらせながらゆっくりと体を起こすと、頭の上から埃や木くずがパラパラと落ちた。
I gradually loosened my stiff body, uncurling from the floor. Blotches of dust and wood chips fell from my hair.
服の中にも砂みたいな細かい粒子がいっぱい入ってて、ジャリジャリ言う。気持ち悪い。
Some of the finer debris had gotten into my clothing and was crunching around like sand with my every movement. It was not pleasant.
服をつまんでバサバサと払い、スカートをはたいて立ち上がってみた。
I brushed myself off as best as I could and slowly rose to my feet, slapping my skirt in vain to clear away any excess dust and dirt.
埃が舞い、白く煙る廊下を見渡すと、そこには
The particles in the air were like a white smoke billowing through the pitch black hallway. It took me a moment to get my bearings.
絶望的な状況が私の前に横たわっていた。
Once I finally did, though, I almost wished I hadn't. The sight before my eyes instantly washed away what little hope I may have had. What?
今の地震で床が抜けて、向こう側へ、聖子の方へ進むことができなくなっていたのだ。
The earthquake had completely caved in part of the floor. It was no longer possible to continue down this hall. No longer possible to trail Seiko.
I knew it. It was that earthquake that if you go back and try to see Naomi in the first game, an earthquake occurs and it blocks off the hall that you cannot see Seiko or Naomi while you're being Seiko. So now Naomi realizes it too now.
もう少し向こうにしゃがんでいたら、床の亀裂に飲み込まれて、私は無事に済んではいなかった。
If I had been cowering from the quake only a few feet ahead, I'd be dead for sure, swallowed up into whatever hell lay down there.
穴の縁に膝をつけて、穴の底を覗き込む。
I knelt down by the edge of the hole and peered within.
That's not safe, Naomi.
暗くてよく見えないけど、この校舎意外と階ごとの天井が高い。
It was too dark to tell for sure. But if what I thought was I saw correct, then the ceilings in the school were unreasonably high.
さらに下の階のちょうどここから真下の床にも穴が開いたみたいだ。
To make matters worse, it seemed like the floor directly below had fallen out as well.
ここから落ちたらどこまで落ちていくんだろう。身震いしながら私は腰を上げた。
I didn't dare consider how deep. Excuse me. I didn't dare consider just how deep this pit might go. All I knew was I couldn't risk falling into it. Shivering in terror, I pulled myself up.
どうしよう。どこか別のところから回り込めるかな。
What do I do? Can I get around it?
急がないと。
I have to hurry.
急がないと聖子が自殺してしまう。まだ間に合うんだ。
I definitely had to hurry. If I didn't, Seiko would commit suicide. But there was still time.
Yeah, in time loop, in the time loop ending, Naomi doesn't realize something. If you didn't watch the first game, my playthrough of Corpse Party, you would know. I'm not gonna say what it was, but yeah.
今度こそそんなこと絶対させない。そんな運命変えてやる。
I was determined not to let it happen. No matter what, I was going to save her. I was going to change her horrible fate.
Alright, and with that, can I pause? There we go, okay. I'm gonna save it here, and as you could tell, a lot happened. An hour and 49 minutes, so I'm gonna save there, and if you notice there's a meter right there, 10% darkening. That will affect the gameplay. Let me just say that. I've read a little bit about the game already. I know a certain amount of stuff in this game, like back when it first came out in Japan, if I remember right. So, yeah, don't know like a whole lot because there was like no videos for it or anything. So yeah, but definitely know what is to come in this chapter a little bit. So yeah, with that, hope you all enjoyed the long introduction to chapter 1, and in the next video you will be seeing some more more gameplay of what this is going to be about. It's going to be like a little bit of Phoenix Wright sort of stuff going on, while trying to keep that as low as possible on the first run through of chapter 1, but never know. Catch you all next time, and I hope you all have a great night.
Next time on Corpse Party, Book of Shadows.
Oh, jeez. My... Oh...